We always just want to start out by reviewing this. Some of you have seen this before, that our students, our children, they grow through they develop through stages of understanding. They develop through stages of what we call moral development. And their minds are literally consumed. They operate in this way. As you can see, we're just reviewing here. In ages 0 to 6, this is how they perceive discipline. Good and wrong. Okay, good, bad, right, wrong, and reward and punishment. So, in the earlier stages, they just want to avoid punishment. They want to avoid doing something that gets them in trouble. And in the later stages, from 4 to 6, they're looking at getting rewards. Oh, I do something good, I get a reward. This can also be emotion. Hey, good job. Well done. Or, I'm not happy with you. That also can be seen and is seen as reward and punishment. This is why you can have your child do something and maybe they have an accident, and yesterday they had no accident, and yesterday you did much better. You need to do better. We didn't hit them, no, of course. We didn't take something away. We didn't send them away. But just by saying it, they start to cry because they felt that they were punished and they feel like they're doing something wrong. So emotion plays a really big part in this. We're going to understand today why. Okay? Second phase. Ages 7 to 13. Most of us here are dealing with our children ages to 13. Actually, some of us are still here, but are dealing with our children 7 to 13. These children are doing, am I good? They want to know, am I good? And what are the laws and orders and what are the rules that are to be that can be broken or not broken? You build this on this. Now either we get a reward or we get a punishment, but now there's a little bit more higher order thinking. Okay? This is what's happening around this time of development. Okay? Finally, when we're moving into our 15 to adulthood, we start to look at developing justice, universal principles, just doing things for the right reason. You almost don't need any rules because we know what it is to be a good person, what it is to be good to other people. Okay? So these are stages of development that our children go through. Now, a quick review of parenting styles. There's authoritarian parenting. Authoritarian parenting tells everything. Says there's not a lot of love and warmth and holding. There is an emotional distance. Things are not explained. Why did this happen? Because I said so. Why am I in trouble? Because I said so. Why can we not do this? Because I said so. I'm the parent and I rule everything. You need to obey me. You need to honor me. I am the parent. And then I am happy when you do everything. If the child says, what should I do? Thank you. You should always ask me. It's a very, very dominant. I am the king or the queen. I am the emperor. And the child needs to do. The child should always has a way to be. You should always smile. Don't be mad. We're just reviewing. Permissive parenting doesn't have a lot of engagement. Nah, that's okay. You can do what you like. Maybe it's not a lot of rules. We'll give anything to the child. What do you want? Oh, you want that? Okay. The child cries. What can I give you? Okay, no more crying. Give you that. And is very friendly. We should be friends with our children. Okay? This is what's called the permissive parenting. Uninvolved parent is just that. Doesn't have a lot of time. There are other things more important. I've got to work. I don't have time. I work so I take care of you. Parent is gone. I have to meet with my friends or or bosses. There's just is absent. Then there's the authoritative parent. Authoritative is what we'll concentrate on because it is really what we've understood in the world of child development as the best approach. The big one is let's talk about it. Notice how it says let's talk. Let's have a conversation. It returns emotions. It understands the emotion of the child. It sets high expectations, but doesn't punish if the expectations are not met. Yes, we should do well in school. Yes, you should respect. But if you have a mistake, let's talk about it. What happened? This is important for what we're going to learn about and discuss a little bit today. What we're going to learn together, not me teach. What we will learn together. So as we can see, I think we don't have to discuss too much. This is the type of parenting we know is the best. But we're not perfect. We make mistakes too. But we're shooting to try to be an authoritative parent. Notice even the picture. You're sitting together. You're almost as equal. You do things together. You learn and you understand. Let's talk a little bit about brain development. Okay, everybody okay? How are we doing? Any questions about what we looked at? Just for clarification. No? We okay? All right. Now let's look at brain development and then we're going to go, oh my gosh, that's how it comes together. Brain development works in this fashion. For today, for what we want to talk about today, let's take a look at brain development. Particularly this area called the prefrontal cortex. It's just behind here. You know, many old Chinese painting, there's the little old man with the cane and has white beard and has a really big forehead. You know this? Yeah. And he's bald, not a lot of hair, but long hair, gray. And here there's like a really big front. Do you know? Yeah. You know this? This is modeled after that the prefrontal cortex has grown really big. So it means wisdom. Okay? Well, what's happening in the prefrontal cortex? Anyone familiar with the prefrontal cortex and what happens here? We're going to talk a little bit about it, but any ideas?
It can help the children to focus on something and concentrate on the sport or the activity he's doing.
Focus,
yes.
Activity, order, anything else about prefrontal cortex that you've heard about? Let's take a look. Thank you for that. This area, don't worry about this down here, is responsible for reasoning. It's responsible for problem solving. It's responsible for comprehension, remembering, learning. It's responsible for helping to control impulse control. It's responsible for creativity and perseverance. It's responsible to help us. Okay, it's not responsible for it, but we develop these things and we use it for this. And working memory. Working memory is very important. Because working memory is the focus. How much can we focus at a time? We have 3 memories. We have the memory that's listening and sensing the world. Let's just listen. and there are lights. That's the memory, but that's happening without us thinking. Then we have our working memory. We pay attention. Mr. Arboleda is talking now. We are having a conversation. We are using our working memory. Now, if I say, think of a time that you talked with your child and you were very proud of them. Now you're pulling from long-term memory. Long-term memory lasts forever, limitless. Working memory, this memory that we're using now, can only hold up to 7 pieces of information at a time. It will hold only up to 7 pieces of information. The more complex and older and mature we are, the more the pieces of information can be complex. As our development is younger and we're smaller, the units are simpler. For example, stand up, go over there, for a child is 2 units. Stand up, go over there, grab the cookie, bring it back. Stand up, go over there, grab the cookie, bring it back. That's already 4 units. For maybe a little bit older, stand up, go over there, grab that, bring it back is 1 unit. And now the units can be more complicated. But as our development, as we're younger, there's less ability in the working memory because it's connected to the development of the prefrontal cortex. Okay? Now, let's take a look. Oh, my apologies. The prefrontal cortex matures in chunks. 3 major chunks. From 3 to 5, it matures some. So these things are very limited between 3 and 5. From 11 to 15, it matures again. And it doesn't stop until you're in your mid-20s. So the complexity of these things are limited by where we are. So now imagine the expectations we're putting on a 7-year-old who right now is in between, has already developed up to 5, can only maintain up to 7 pieces of information. And what happens to their stress, what happens to their life if we don't give them what they can work with at this time? And if we try to give them something that's outside of what they can do, and then we get angry. The thing about the memory is that if you can only hold 2 things of information, and you need to put a third in, and you've reached the capacity, you have to drop one so that you can learn your new one. Or drop another one. So by understanding all of this, then it sets the foundation for discipline, for support at home. We can increase how we work with our children as they increase in their complexities, but we must always remember these things first. Now, we can move to step 1 and step 2 processing, and then we're going to close. The prefrontal cortex, for reasoning, what should I do next, works in 2 steps. Very simple, 2 steps. Step 1 is, mom walks in or dad walks in, what are you doing? And I say, nothing, or I lie. Did you break that? No. Did you do your homework? Yes, I lost it. It might be a lie. But that's step 1, because step 1 is emotional it's anger, and it wants to protect. The younger you are and the less experience you've had, the younger you are, the more step one you use. I want the cookie. No. Ah! I want the new game. No, you can't get it. Why can't I get it? Because you have to buy it with your own money. But I don't have any job. It sounds like reasoning, but it's still angry. It's still only step one. It's emotional, it's reactive, and it's automatic. And that, everyone has step one. Step two starts to develop. Step two starts to develop as we go past 5, 6, 7. Step two starts to develop into better develop when you're 11, 12, 13. Step two doesn't stop developing ever, but until our 20s, mid-20s. So now imagine our children when they're 10, 13, teenagers, or 11 or 12, the worst. Because in age-wise, they're just entering this stage, and they're not going to really master it until they're around here. So this is why we say teenagers they're so difficult. Because they're using a lot of step one, and their body is full of the things that make them emotional and angry. So they're going to do a lot of step one without using step two, which is reflective, logical, ordered, contemplative, or contemplative on consequences. Step two uses, well, what happens if I don't do it? What are they explaining? Oh yeah, that makes more sense. Oh, I can do that. Okay? Now we're going to close. So 3 types of punishment. One type of punishment is positive punishment. Positive punishment is not good. Positive means you're giving something. Negative punishment means you're taking something away. So a positive punishment could be hitting your child. I'm giving you a punishment you don't like. Positive punishment is go sit in the corner. I give you a detention. I give you a timeout. That's what positive punishment means. It's traditional. You get in trouble, you do something that I don't like, you get a punishment. Here is your punishment. I give you your punishment. This never works. It's step one. Step one parent, step one student. Okay? So what happens here is that I get mad, they get mad, and it's only because my psychology class came in. Which processing is it? Is it step one or step two? What do you think? I get mad, they get mad. Which one is it? Step one processing. You guys go ahead and have a seat. So positive punishment from the parent and the student is step one process. These are my students. Number 2 is logical punishment or logical consequence. This is not much different than positive punishment, but the word logical is tricky. Here's how it works. Can I use you as an example? Is that okay? So you get in trouble. I'm going to give you a punishment, a positive punishment. You're going to get a punishment where you have to go to your room, sit and think 2 hours. You don't get to do anything, and you don't get to go to movies with your friend. And while you're walking away, that's all positive punishment. The logical part says, do you understand why you are in trouble? That's the logical part. You didn't do this. I asked you. You were supposed to clean that. Because you didn't clean it, the sink got messed up. It backed up. The water got outside. You started to clean it. I asked you, did you clean it? You said, I tried. It was a lie. You didn't do your homework. And because of all this, look at what you got. You're in big trouble, young man. No movie, no this. Go to your room, blah, blah, blah. Do you understand why you are in trouble? And we expect the children to say, yes, I understand why I'm in trouble. We are trying to make logic out of the positive punishment. Okay? Do you see why it's important that we review the brain and all of this first? You guys missed it. You missed the best part. Now that we are here, I'll be done. What is a natural consequence? So before we do natural consequence, I'll give you a chance to take a picture, Rebecca, because I'm going to go back. Before we do natural consequence, let's review very fast. This is going to be very fast, so pay attention. We go through stages. The stages have chunks. All we want is to avoid punishment or get reward. It doesn't matter where we are. It's based on this. Am I a good boy, good girl, bad boy, bad girl? It's just to avoid punishment or get reward. Am I understand the justice, the spirit of the law? Am I a good person or ethics? Just because I want to avoid. A type of punishment can be I don't feel good about myself. A type of punishment can be something else. Okay. There are types of parenting. And we're looking to try to be a parent that knows how to talk about things with their child. To be flexible, explain. To be natural. We don't want these other aspects. We need to understand that we all have a prefrontal cortex and that it's in charge of these things and that it matures in chunks, 3 to 5, then it stops for a while. Then 11 to 15, then it stops for a while. It doesn't finish maturing until we're 20 to 25. Good. We understand that the working memory holds up to 7 pieces of information or plus or minus 2. See, my students, they're really good. Plus or minus 2. So some people can only hold 5. Some people can maybe hold 9. But even for brilliant adults like Albert Einstein or brilliant adults like, I don't know, Dr. Bath, she invented cataract surgery. They still can only hold up to about 9. And we know that there's a step 1 and step 2 processing. Step 1 is immediate, emotional. Step 2 is, okay, let's think about this, what will happen next. And that this develops slowly along with the prefrontal. So children up to 10, 11 are doing a lot of this. And we have to teach them and help them get to this. Adults, parents do a lot of this. We get mad. Why didn't you, stop it, get out. That's all step 1. Positive punishment is step 1 processing. Logical punishment is step 1 processing, but we think we're being smart about it. What is natural consequence? Natural consequence is the parenting style that's authoritative. It's let's talk. Because now we're going to step 2 processing. Okay. What happened? The kitchen is a mess. The dishes exploded. It got backed up. It looks like you were rushing. The water got out. It's on the floor. The dog is licking the dirty water. You spent so much time. What happened to the homework? Did you tell me you did the homework? Yes. Did you really do it? No. Why didn't you do it? Well, I got scared because I'm going to get in trouble with this. Well, yeah, that's a big problem. So what do you got to do? What do we got to do? Well, sorry. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. What happens now? You got to clean it, right? Yes, I got to clean it. What's going to happen with the homework? It's going to get later. You're going to have to stay up late, yeah? It's like, oh, I wanted to go to the movies tonight. Does it look like you can go to the movies tonight? You can go to the movies. once this is done and the homework is done, but there's no time. I know, I want you to go to the movies, but now all this has happened. How are we going to fix this? This is what natural consequence sounds like. And it can happen at any stage. Oh, yesterday you didn't have accidents. Now you had an accident. What happened? And then they look at their toys. There's a baby. Were you playing with your toys? Did you feel like you had... What happened? I didn't stop playing with my toys. And then what happened? All right, well, okay, we got to clean it. Let's go. Can I play with my toys? Can you play with your toys? Are you... Like, no, okay. You were going to go play with outside with your friend, but now we got to clean this, clean that, and now we don't have time to go play, and now blah, 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 blah. Well, can I play my video game? It's like, well, no, because at 5 o'clock is when we start our ABC, our mathematics homework. So no, the thing you wanted to do, see, so now they are figuring out what they can and cannot do. And we're helping them move through that. And then we hold the line. We don't give the punishment. It's not positive punishment. We hold what happened. They might get angry. I really want to go to the movies. Like, I want you to go to the movies too. I want to spend time with your mom. I want to watch a movie with your mom tonight while you go to the movies and have popcorn. But this has to get done first. I'm not going to do it. Or for the little child. So, natural consequence, it takes practice. But this is what we think positive punishment is. When we think positive punishment, we think, oh, it's good punishment. But remember, positive punishment means you're giving the thing. It just means you're giving the thing. Or, gimme. Or, no. Or, I'm mad at you. I'm giving my child the punishment that I'm taking away my love for 2 hours. Hey, it happened to me too. I did that same thing when I was your age, and I lied to your grandma for 3 days. I did it too. And this is what happened to me. I understand. But we got to fix it, and no, you can't just go to the movies and do it later. Okay, so see, we now moved through and had that. Now that's authoritative parenting. I came in the door like this. What the heck happened here? What step is that?
Step one.
It's step one process. But I also hopefully have gone through all, and I think to myself, oh, stop. What happened? Okay. I can now access step two. And as a parent, I work with step two when they're in step one. And as soon as I take away the trouble, as soon as I take away this is why they are not behaving. They're not, even if they're in this stage, they're not behaving because this is still part of their life. This is why they lie. This is why blah. As soon as I take this away, okay, let's just talk about it. I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to put you over there. But something will happen because of this. As soon as I take that away, they will start to think with step two. Because now I gave them the space. And now we're both, we look like this. Now we are looking like this. Same thing's gonna happen. You're still not gonna go. You're still gonna have to clean it. You're still gonna have to get your homework done. You're still gonna have to talk to your everything, but we do it like this. That is what we think positive discipline is when we say positive punishment. No, this is a positive environment. This is what we really understand to be when we think good study day up, huh? This is what we think when we think having positive punishment or positive discipline at home. This is called the natural consequence. We help ourselves get to that. What is the natural thing? Sorry, I can't go. I messed up. No, I'm not mad at my mom and dad. It's my fault. Okay. I can go next week. Yeah, they said I can go. I just have to blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay. And then they grow. What do you think? It's not easy. We make more mistakes than others, but with practice, then everything is like this. Everything is like this. Just here. Here's another one. So we think we're too nice, and then one day we do okay, hey, everything's been okay. I'm going to give you some time, and then they mess up, and they take advantage. They will. Okay, you took advantage of that. That was really sneaky. So now what's the natural consequence? Next time you want something, it makes it harder for me to trust this. What can you do to help us? To help me? Right? If a friend does this to you, next time, they say, but I promise I'm going to pay you. They don't pay you. What happens next time they ask you? It's like, okay, so let's think about this. What can you do? So, and then they come up with. So you get this. We get it. Any ideas? Any thoughts? Any responses, reactions? Yes?
No question, just from my thinking, I think sometimes, not more, sometimes I'm step one parents, also my child is step one students. So from today, I think I will try to do the step two every time, and not just to only to my child, to everybody. I think, yeah. I will try to do best.
Thank you for that, and that's all we can do. That's all we can do, all of us. Thank you for that. If you ask my students over here, for psychology students, they will also tell you another secret. And the secret is that when we look at this, it's actually, yes, this area is where we process step 1 and 2, but it's not that area that allows us to do step 1 and 2. The more that area is healthy, and this is correlated, and the bigger, the better the function is. But it's really just the space The moment that we as parents get upset and we have to figure out what to do, we activate that whole space, and that's just a space where we start to think, what can I do? And this is the space where we start doing all of this. If it's step 1, it's easy. Step 1, done. Step 2, this starts to happen. Okay, and this area lights up. If we're looking at a machine called a fMRI, which stands for, you can see the brain working while there's a problem. If we put one on Sherry's head, when her child goes crazy, and she's about to go crazy, and we have a little video and we look at it, here we go. Oh my God, she lied to her. Look at that. That whole area of her brain will go, because this starts to happen. So it's not necessarily that area makes us learn step 1 and step 2. It's that as that area becomes more developed, our step 1 and step 2 ability has a bigger space to work in. So you see, sometimes we say, I know you understand this, to our child. And yes, and they will. They'll be like, I know, I understand it too. So why did you lie? I don't know. They're telling you the truth. They don't know why they lied. Because they're still worried about getting in trouble, and they go to step 1, and that space isn't fully developed. So when the idea runs through and finds something, the idea crashes in areas, and then it gets lost. So sometimes it's true. They don't know why they lied. So the more we know about that, the better we can help to respond and create the situation. Thank you for that. Yes, very good. And for us, we have to do the same thing. And any other ideas, discussions, anything you'd like to share? Anything you can disagree with any or agree or any?
Okay, I agree with it because I'm confident that I'm the step 2 parent. I always give my daughter the consequence naturally. For example, we sleep because he's only 5 years old, so he sleeps at 8 to 9 o'clock at night. And he has some iPad time for maybe 20 to 30 minutes. And he has 30 reading time with me or his dad. But if he played iPad, maybe 10 minutes over, so he will have less reading time. And he will ask, oh, I want to read 1 more book and 2 more books. And we'll tell him, oh, honey, it's 9 o'clock, it's your sleep time. Next time, if you want to read more with daddy and mom, you have to shorten your iPad time. Yeah, that's a little example.
Yeah, that's excellent. And it's appropriate for her stage of development. So
you don't have to tell her, because you are wrong, you spend too much time on iPad. We don't talk about this. We just tell her the consequence.
Yeah.
You don't have enough reading time today.
That's right. That's excellent. And she's 5?
5.
Yeah. This is beautiful.
She's very disciplined, and she has his own willingness to do the things.
Yeah. And everything is done right. For some of us, when we are here, our child is so right on, and they love reading so much, and then it's happened to some of us on this side. Is your oldest child 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Where then they're very tired in the morning. We're like, why are you tired in the morning? I don't know. And then one day you walk in and they have their book and it was under the bed, and now you learn that they're so good, because they are so good, that what they're doing is after everybody goes to bed, they take out their book and they start reading for 2-3 hours. I'm talking to us over here. You're doing great. And then we're like, what happened? You told me that you were going to bed on time. It's like, I am. It's like, well, look at what I found. And they start thinking, how did they know that? That's impossible. They weren't thinking that we check. So you see, they're not bad. And you're lying to me. We don't want to say that, but they want to read the book, and reading a book is a good thing. But then all of a sudden, I didn't do my homework because I read the book. So what starts happening? And then we use exactly what you learned. We got to go step 2. It's like, okay, well, here's what happened. How do you want it? Let's rearrange the schedule so you can get more book reading in, and blah, blah, blah. And we start to come up with things. And what our job is, we're trying to do what you're doing and keep it in this stage. You know, this is a great one, because our kids will say to us, well, you get to stay up longer. Has anybody ever heard that for the older parent? Oh, Miss Tony in the back, she's like, oh yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah, she's like, well, you stay up after. And you get to read your books like, what? Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa! My child has never asked me and done that to me. Well, I mean, they have, but all of a sudden it becomes a friend. So how are we? Things change as we move along. And yeah, for a lot of us, it just, we switch. We use our step 2 continually. So I applaud you. Awesome. And continue that. I did not do that. I was not that good. It's like, give me the book. No, it wasn't like that. But I would say, why did you put your toys under the bed? They don't belong under the bed. Now you're in trouble. Take them out of the bed. It took you 10 minutes to put them and take them out. Now you have 20-minute timeout. I did.
And I think the one important thing is the kid, he know reading and iPad time is the same interesting.
Oh.
Yeah. If the iPad is more interesting than reading with parents, he will choose iPad. Yeah, but at that moment, he said reading is more fun. I want to spend more time with daddy and mommy than iPad. Then he will compare these two things and he will choose a more interesting thing. That's why he thinks, 2 books is too less. And I don't want to play 40 iPad time tomorrow. I just control it within maybe 20 minutes. Then I can have more time with daddy and mommy.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's we all want to try to be there, be authoritative. We pretty much have gone over. We started at 10 minutes late so that we could get here, our 30 minutes, and then 10 minutes, 15 minutes of discussion. Wish everybody a good day. You're welcome to hang out, talk with each other, ask additional questions. I'll stick around for a few more minutes, and then my class and I are going to head up to continue our day together. Thank you all for coming.